Hey there, I'm Otis. Hello, and I'm Lucky. And you're watching Studio D TV.
When your halo falls and you burn your wings, are you angel no more? Angel no more. Is your cold black heart breaking silently? Is this what you live for? Angel no more.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to Studio D TV. Well, today, as we talked about, we are going to start a session of pre-production. And if you notice, I've got some little furry friends with me who were also the friends that did the intro interview. And you know, it's really late right now. It's like, or early, however you look at it. It's like 1:32 in the morning, and I just came to the realization today that yeah, I'm not going to have the show ready tonight by 8 p.m. on Wednesday the 10th like I should be. And that brings up a whole point I want to go over with you on the show today. I just figured, you know what, it'd just be me talking with these guys and hanging out, and my little baby down there, Lucky, who's taking a nap right now. First off, I just want to have a different style show today. I want to, thank each and every single one of you that do tune into the show every week. It means a lot to me. I do put a lot of time in this. I do this all myself. I do all the editing, all the filming with the little flip camera that's sitting right over there on the stand. And I don't know, I just thought I'd talk a little bit differently today than I would just do the normal standard sitcom style, if you will, and reality based. I'm a big fan of sitcom television, and I love all that, like, you know, slapstick humor and all the Three's Company and all those good shows from the 70s and 80s, if anybody knows me. And early 90s is okay too. But yeah, man, it's crazy because my show is reality. And, you know, sometimes reality is I just, you know, don't have time to sometimes get an episode up every Wednesday by 10 or whatever. And I just, you know, want to thank everybody and appreciate your patience for it. And, you know, that being said, I want to kind of cover some different topics today. One, I do want to cover some pre-production stuff because I told you I would. Two, like I said, it's like really early in the morning, and I'm, you know, mixing some records right now, and I'm just, you know, loopy because I haven't slept. So it's just one of those things where it's just like, you know what, I just figured I'd talk to you, the public, my fans, the viewers, and just pretty much say what's up and give a good thanks. At the same time, you know, it's crazy because I really feel blessed on the level that I get to do a lot of cool things I do. You know, I got to meet a lot of my, you know, big, you know, I'm a big fan of old school WWE wrestling, or WWF at the time, and me and my cousin Frank got to go meet a lot of the old school wrestlers over the weekend and stuff, and I had some fun doing that. So I just, you know, it's just one of those things I just, you know, never take for granted, that what I get to do as far as, you know, the music, the tours, the records, producing, playing, performing. And, you know, a big percentage of that is everybody watching this show and all my friends, neighbors, family, and people I've met, all the bands across the world and everything. I thank you because you guys are part of what makes me me. And, you know, I just thought maybe I've never really had a chance. All my friends and close family that know me know that this is how I am, and these are the words I'd speak, and this is how I feel. But, you know, so to a lot of the newer viewers and stuff, I just feel that maybe a lot of you guys don't really know that, or I've maybe really not said that to you. So that being said, thank you to everybody involved. I'm talking from everybody to my manager and best friend Neil Sheehan, all the way to my cousin Frank, who's my best friend, and my family, and all the Gatlin APG guys, bands I produced, everybody. Just thank you for forming what I have now as my life. And no, I did not have no near-death experience or anything crazy. I'm just, you know, saying how I feel. So, that being said, we're going to eventually move into our next topic, which is pre-production. And now that you've seen a lot of what my band APG does, in the future you'll see what my band Gatlin does. And at the same time, you've seen a little bit of me kind of hanging out and doing certain things, you know, as like a musician and a little bit in the studio. Now we're going to move into the next phase of me as a producer. You've seen a lot of, you've seen a lot of clips with me in the studio. Well, what I'm going to do now over the next few weeks is take you into segments that have to do with what I call pre-production. And it's a step before you actually record a physical record. There's a guy named Lawrence Gelbard, and we call him LG or Gelboni or whatever. He is based out of Philadelphia. Lawrence is the guy who really created this all for me. Lawrence pre-produced my band Gatlin, and we had a hit song called Reflection for all you Gatlin fans that know. And the coolest thing about Lawrence is he's just a real positive guy, a killer producer and arranger, and he really shows and brought back the art of rearranging a song. I think there's a lot of good songs and a lot of good records these days. There's producers, even in the city, that blow me away when it comes to mixing and tracking, whatever. They could put out a better sonic record, and that's fine, and I've told them that. The thing I think missing today is the songs. I hear a lot of these newer style bands. I love all these bands. Attack Attack, Double Wars Parada, Band on All Ships is like my favorite right now. I love all these new school bands. I love the tones. I love the attack of the tones. I'm a big fan of that. And however, what I do miss from these new bands is the songs. I miss, like in the 80s, Winger, Motley Crue, Poison, make fun of them all you want for the makeup and glam. And it's not even saying they sold more records than the new school. It's they had good songs. Like you could sing the songs. If you had a bad day at work, you could pop in a Poison track and all of a sudden it all goes away. For me, when I was a kid, when I grew up, I don't care how bad of a mood I was in or whatever I needed to do, or when I cut the grass for Mom and Dad, I pop in Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. I mean, that just put you in a mood that you cannot explain. The feelings are always euphoric, and I think that's me as a producer, what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm not trying to be the guy that says, hey, you know what, I could get the better snare sound or better guitar sound. I mean, that's kind of all obvious. You should be able to get some decent sounds if you're a producer, but in my eyes, it's about pre-production. And over the course of the next few weeks, you're going to see just that. You're going to see me taking bands apart from Cleveland, from Detroit, from Pennsylvania. One of the first bands I'm going to key in on is Travis's band. Travis was my guy that did the Dwayne Wade interview with me, on episode 5 of Studio D. So I just thought, that being said, it would be kind of cool to turn around and show everybody, what I do with these bands. And I'm talking like all different bands from all over the place. Even bands that, have broken up, I've still got footage of and stuff like that. So, so those would be some of the clips we'll be enjoying next week. And we're going to probably most likely start off with Vision of None, which is Travis's band. And throughout the weeks you'll see a few me work with some bands. And even my former guitar player, Pat, from Gatlin, he's in another band now called Jackie. And, I'm working with them. I worked with them on some songs, and I got a lot of footage at that. So you're going to see that. And like I said, it's just one of those things that I think this is a big step that musicians need to see. And a lot of people that, want to tune into my life, want to see it. I think they should need to see it because it is a big part of my life. It was a big part of my 2006 till about 2010-ish. I was busy. I did over 250 records, and out of 250 records, 225 were actually pre-produced. And any band that I've produced that has gotten a record deal and gone on national has had pre-production. And I'm not, and some of the things I want to tell these bands is, don't worry. It's like if you can't afford pre-production or whatever, and you just still want to come and record with me first to get your feet wet with me, that's fine. By all means, let's do that. And then we'll work it over, because I think the developmental process of a band is long lost. And I know record sales suck, no matter who you are. But the brutal truth is, you should still have fun making music and still try to make the best music you can for your fans. And that's what I'm here for. That's what I feel I'm here for. Whether you agree with me, disagree with me, it is what it is. But I think a lot of the bands I've worked with would agree with me on that level. And that's about it. What do you think, Otis? Is that pretty good? Yeah? Alright, now, that being said, we've got a special treat. This is episode number 10. that being said, I'm starting something new on episode 10. Hey, bud, I'm going to have you go down here for a minute. Okay. For episode 10, what I'm going to do, if I can find my paper here, I'm going to start a new segment. And let me see here. What'd you do with it? What'd you do with it? Okay. Well, you know what? I don't have my paper. I forgot it, but I can read the question. I'm going to start a new segment on Studio D TV. I've had a lot of people writing me that watch the show. And mind you, I am the best, least viewed TV show in YouTube history. I have the least amount of views on my show out of any TV show ever in YouTube history, and I'm still rated the best for that. So just keep that in mind. So thank you, viewers, for keeping it in. But a lot of my fans have wrote in and asked me a lot of strange questions. You know, standard questions about, you know, relationships or, you know, a lot of questions, you know, about my opinions on certain bands or music or whatever. Or a lot of questions about just stuff, just random stuff. So that being said, I thought I'd do something new. I'm going to do what I call Question of the Week. And if you want, you can go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/DonDebiase, DonDebiase. And in the subject of the message, if you want to write me, put Studio D TV question. Once again, that's Studio D TV question. And if you want to ask me anything, over the course of weeks, I will select one question a week. And if you want to keep resubmitting your question, that's fine. And I'll answer one question that maybe I'm feeling at the time or whatever. So that being said, the question of the week this week comes from a gentleman named Addison Bjork. Bjork, something like that. Can't remember your last name, but I'm sorry. But Bjork, and he is from Wingtown, New Jersey. And his question is, Don, who is the person you're always talking to in the bloopers off camera? Now, my boy Addison, you seem like a nice guy. You know, you seem like you'd be a decent musician and all. However, there's just some secrets that TV shows have to keep, my friend. The guy in the background think of him as the guy in Charlie's Angels. You never see him. Think of him as when you watch the 1960s Batman and Commissioner Gordon picks up that red phone and he hears that voice, but he just doesn't know who Batman is under the mask. Think of him as that person to me. Nobody in Studio D TV land will ever find out who that person is. And that is just something that's just, yeah, exactly, right? I know. Right, no, I know, I gotcha. So, that being said, he's showing me my cue cards now. So, just think, if you were here, he's right behind the camera, right over there. Or she, or is it a she? We don't know. You have no idea. I'm not going to tell you if it's he or she. So, that being said, that's just something that will always be a mystery to you, my friend. And I'm very sorry to say that is my final answer. So, that being said, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. And, always thank you so much for tuning into the show. And like I said, sorry it was just a standard, just bland me talking for 5 minutes. But it is what it is. It was just a busy few weeks, man. We had a killer show on last Friday with APG. Thank you so much for everybody that came out and sold out the club for us. Yeah, man, it was just really cool. So, like I said, it's just been busy, been a little tired. Sorry, it's the reality. And you know, sometimes I used to put on that act like I could do it all, and you know, this and this. But just admitting it, man, it's just been a tired, lazy week, and just been working on some mixes and stuff. Got a lot of cool things released in the future that you'll know about, and that's about it. So until next week, when you see some more pre-production and you actually see some of the footage, thank you for your time, and you have yourself a lovely week. And I'll see you next week here on Studio D TV. Hey, I'm Otis. Hey, and I'm Lucky. And you're watching Studio D TV. It's a move. It's my move. This is my move. This is my Lucky. This is my little girl. People always ask if I have kids. And this is my daughter right here. Right? She's a little tired. I didn't want to wake her up. nap, but it is like 3 in the morning now. Right? Want to say hi to all my viewers? And yes, she is the little pug in the intro of the TV show you see. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching my dad on Studio TV. Thanks for watching my dad on Studio